Hey guys. Hey Supermoms. Sarah here with the Crunchy Supermom. I'm just going to make sure this is working. The other day it wasn't working. If you can hear me okay, would you drop a comment in the chat to let me know? I'm just going to make sure here. It's been a while since I was able to, share some tips and training with you. The whole living in an apartment thing has gotten me, I'm in a small space with all the people that I live with, so it's not that easy. Okay, I'm good to go. All right, so this is a topic that I feel like I might sort of ruffle some feathers with. And then for those of you who know, you know what I'm saying when I talk about reclaiming our identity through entrepreneurship. And for the rest of you, you might be a little upset at me, but check yourself, see why this is triggering you, and kind of work through that, okay? Yeah, I know that was harsh. So here's the thing. When we have kids, we give up a lot of things by choice, like especially if you have chosen to be a stay-at-home mom, we choose to do that. And we do it with a full heart, a happy heart. Like we want to do that. And some women have that's all they dreamed about was being a mom. And they wanted nothing more than to spend time raising their little ones, staying at home and doing that. And some of them even like to do the daycare thing. That is not me. And that's some other women who are not that way either. And in fact, a lot of us gave up high-level careers. I went to grad school. We gave up careers to stay at home with our children. And for most of us, we would never change that decision. That was like the best decision that we made, and we wanted to stick with it. And I'm still in the throes of it. I don't have anyone out of the house just yet. So there are lots of sacrifices that we made. Like our bodies, we have either nurslings crawling all over us, our bodies change shape, we're no longer cool. I don't know how to get dressed in the morning to be a 40-year-old and not look like a frumpy old mom. There's all these things that we give up, and we kind of lose our identities in that. I mean, it's cool to be a mom and it's cool to be a wife, and those are important identities to have, and they're important roles to have. But it's really easy to have regrets about life if we don't think about kind of weaving in some of our gifts and talents into that, our purpose in life. Being a mom is probably one of the greatest purposes we have, but it's not the only purpose, because at some point those kiddos are going to move out of the home, and you have 20, 30, maybe 40 years of life where your children aren't in your home. Of course, you're still going to worry about them, and they're still going to keep you up at night. But the point is, you have a lot of life to live outside of being a mother. So how do we reclaim our identity through entrepreneurship? It was kind of an unexpected thing for me. And part of it started with the personal growth that it takes to create a business, especially one on social media, because there's a lot of comparison stuff that happens on social media. There's like amazing filters, and I'm not using one, but that you can completely wipe out your freckles and your wrinkles, and you can look young forever on social media. So it's kind of scary to go out there and try to be a regular person, a regular mom creating a business. So you have to grow yourself in here first, in your heart, okay? And that starts to help you realize your gifts. And so then when you start a business of some kind, and a lot of us started out just poking around, like blogging, writing a little blog, doing a little YouTube channel. And then that's a creative outlet. It allows us to express ourselves without the boundaries of motherhood. In fact, you could be a mom and show up on a YouTube channel and never talk about being a mom and have so much fun with it. And I have a friend, her name's Jerry, and she was in school to be an actor or theater or something like that. And so she can use social media as part of her business to kind of show off some of those things that she used to love doing. I don't know, maybe her kids like to hear her do impressions, but where else could she have that creative outlet other than here? And here's why being an entrepreneur allows you to do that, where you couldn't just show up and blog. And here's why. Whether you have a supportive husband or you don't have a supportive husband, when you want that alone time, it feels like you have to justify it, right? So if you're, and again, ruffling some feathers here. So if your husband's off working 40, 60, 70 hours a week, and then he comes home on a Friday and you're like, I really need some time alone. And it's like, really? You didn't work 70 hours a week and you need some alone time? And maybe your husband's not like that. And I'm not saying my husband was like that either, but sometimes that's how they are. Or you personally feel guilty asking for time alone. And that's not how it should be, but that is how it commonly is. If you're an entrepreneur and you're asking for time to work in your business, it's a justifiable time expense, right? Again, that's not the way it should be. But when you start to have that entrepreneurial time and it starts to grow into something that's providing value for your family, whether it's financial value or just making mom happier, whatever it is, then you start to realize how important it is to have that time where you're not just being a mom. So there's that freedom that comes with it. And then if your business does take off, then you have even more freedom because you've got the financial freedom and sometimes time freedom. There are so many people, so many women that I work with who are able to give up their full-time career, being an entrepreneur, and then they have also goals and they're very close to achieving these goals. And I myself have achieved this goal of freeing their husbands from having to work a full-time job. So it creates freedom in the family by mom reclaiming her identity through entrepreneurship. Okay, so there's that side hustle. It can blow up in so many ways, especially if it's fueling your inner passion, and it's allowing you to live out your purpose. Now, and I'm no offense to the moms who love the spa day and the pedicure day, like that's cool. That's your thing. That's not the type of activity that fills up my cup. And I know a lot of women who are like that. Being able to pour into other people and serve them with your gifts that has nothing to do with parenting. I'm not talking about doing the church daycare thing, because that is not something that makes me feel good. I think it's an important thing to do, but it's not what my passion is. Like, that's not my purpose. In fact, I'm not that fun. I'm not that great to be around when it comes to playfulness with kids. Okay. We do stuff, but it's just not playful stuff. So that doesn't fill my cup. And maybe being an entrepreneur doesn't fill up your cup, but it does for a lot of people. And I think it's okay to talk about that. It's okay to talk about reclaiming your identity as a woman with skills and talents and gifts and education through entrepreneurship. And it's not indicative of you not being a great mom. Okay. I mean, personally speaking, I've been an entrepreneur for 13 years, probably almost 14 now. And I've come to love my social awkwardness. I don't use the filters to remove my moles and wrinkles. And sometimes I pause on camera and I look all over the place. Like, I like my social awkwardness because it makes me approachable and it makes me relatable, right? You can see yourself doing what I do because I'm not perfect at this. But my research skills from grad school and all the papers that I wrote, they make me a really skilled blogger. I can crank out more content in one night than anyone I know. And more importantly, I've been able to make an impact on my girls and also other women who feel the way that I do, because they're able to do it. They see themselves doing what I'm doing, and my girls do too. So they see themselves as wanting to be entrepreneurs so they can spend the time with their kids and they can also pursue their passions. You don't have to give up your passion to be a stay-at-home mom. So that's my little rant for you on how you might be able to reclaim your identity as an entrepreneur. I'd love to chat about it some more. I have the Crunchy Supermoms community here on Facebook.